Hi, my name's Hannah and I really like to sew. So it's my birthday in a week and I decided that I wanted to have a fancy dress party. Obviously, or not obviously, you might not have heard, there is a pandemic going on. So it's just gonna be me in my bubble. But I thought it could still be really fun to dress up and have a drink and a dance and food. So the theme is gonna be Hannah's fictional favourites. So you can dress up as a character from any one of my favourite films, TV shows, or books. There's a lot of things they could dress up as. I decided that I wanted to make myself a new costume from materials that I already have in my fabric stash, rather than buying anything new. I decided I was going to make a Hobbit costume, which you already know, because it'll be in the heading or the caption. So Hobbits normally wear earth tones, so like greens and browns, and then kind of maybe darker reds or blues. But they tend to be fairly muted and they don't really wear black. But I only really have black, so she's gonna be like a goth party Hobbit. It's a vibe. Aesthetic. So for this costume, I'm gonna make myself a blouse and I'm gonna make a little corset top. And then I'm probably just gonna use a skirt that I already have upstairs because I don't have any pieces of fabric that are big enough. So let's make a Hobbit costume. Let's do it.
So these are the materials that I have chosen. This is a plain black stretchy jersey that I'm going to use for the main body of the blouse. It's not really going to be a real blouse. I'm basically making a t-shirt with poofy sleeves. And then we've got lace with just a bunch of pretty flowers. Oh yeah, so that's then going to be the sleeves and the trimmings. This pink sparkly number. Camera's making it almost look a bit brown. I'd show it to you in the sunlight, except it's really heckin' dark outside. So that's what you get to see for now. I am gonna line it with some non-stretchy, just plain old cotton. This is just a scrap that I've got. And then the waistcoat's gonna look like this. So we have cut out the pieces for the vest. We have two fronts, two sides, a back, and then the same in the lining fabric. On the original, it's got this tape running all the way around the edge, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm lazy. I did that with the first version of this that I did, and it honestly took so long, and I just can't be bothered. So I'm going to just do it with the lining to hide the raw edges. So what I have now is a sort of deconstructed waistcoat. I attach the side to the back as the very last step, which is really handy because it makes it really easy to put a lining on it, because what you effectively have is one very long strip. Now I have to do all of that with the lining fabric. So what I've ended up with is this. This is the front, this is the centre where the lacing will go, here's the back. At this point, I'm going to put the lining on top of this, right sides together. I'm going to sew from here
all around, all the way down, all the way back up, all the way around
to there, and then go from the bottom corner,
all the way around, all the way up, all the way around the inside, all the way down and across,
leaving this stretch and this stretch open. What I will then effectively have is one very long tube, and that'll be easy to then pull inside out, is the theory. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. So I've sewn up the edges, leaving these two sides open so that I can pull it inside out. So that's the next step, is to pull the whole thing the right way out. I went around and trimmed the edges and the corners so that it'll sit a bit more flat. Ooh, pretty. Now I need to iron it, attach this to the back, and then put in the grommets down the front to put the lace thing through. Once the metal work was in place, I put the ribbon through, and so now that is finished. Oh, she's so pretty. She's so pretty. I'm actually going to use this pattern again for the blouse. The front piece, instead of doing 2 separate pieces, I'm going to add a couple of inches to the center and cut it on the fold. So that will then be 1 full panel. I'm also going to bring the neckline higher. For the sleeve, I'm going to steal the piece from this pattern, but I'm going to make it shorter and it'll be gathered in a little poof underneath as well. So here we have the main body of the blouse. I've put this little ruching in the front just because it was gaping a little bit and I thought it'd be nice to have that detailing. I'm gonna attach the sleeves. And the blouse is finished. This collar for some reason keeps sitting outwards rather than pointing up. I just genuinely don't know what I can do to fix that. Maybe ironing it might be a help. I am not going to do the grand reveal right now because it's actually 3 AM. So I'm actually going to film that tomorrow, but I guess in real time that's going to be right now.
And we're done. Now I was in a bit of a rush to get reveal clips done because the sun was going down like it does at the end of every day, which is why the hair is not very exciting. And I couldn't find my pointy ears anywhere, so I'm gonna make some before my birthday. So after this bit, I will put clips or pictures of me wearing it next week, because then I will actually do my hair, makeup and ears properly. So in terms of what we learned, what went well, what I could have done better, let's start with what we could have done better. Finding the ears ready for the filming. Might have actually looked like a Hobbit then. The corset top came out pretty much exactly as I wanted it. I think if I made the blouse again, I'd make the sleeves bigger, just make them more poofy. I'm not sure why I couldn't get the lace flat, and it was quite itchy, so sort of here and around the edges. It was quite itchy, but it was super cheap, so cheap. Which also makes me think I probably can't iron it. It might just melt. It might just be plastic, I don't know. So yeah, if I were to make a blouse like that again, I would definitely buy some nicer lace. I think it would have been nice if the skirt was in a different texture. I'm not really sure what texture, but it felt like I was wearing a dress with the waistcoat over the top rather than the skirt being a separate piece, just because they were both black. I was also thinking it could be nice to have some pink detailing around the bottom of the skirt, but that is the skirt that I use whenever I need a plain black skirt like that. So I could maybe consider like painting some kind of leaf design or swirl design around the bottom of the skirt, but I don't actually have any pink fabric paint. So if I have time during the week, I might add some stuff to the skirt. You'll see whether or not that happens in the end clips. Otherwise, I'm really pleased with how the items came out. They look pretty much exactly as I had pictured them. I don't know what I'm imagining for the skirt. I just want the skirt to look different somehow. But yes, I hope that you enjoyed watching my sewing adventures at 3 AM. Why sew at a regular time of day when you can do it instead of sleeping? Roll the party clips. No, I can't reach. Oh my god! You guys look fantastic!
So, Dad and I actually switched, so come here.
Oh god, what's Dad dressed as? What's he?
Right, hang on, I want to get your face.
Where is he?
Stephen, do a reveal. Don't wreck yourself.
How did that?